Welcome to Let's Rant About It, where we have a real conversation about real life topics. It can get a little passionate, but we keep the vibes high with honest opinions. Getting started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now.
Welcome to Let's Rant About It, when we have authentic conversation about stuff from our own perspective. I'm kicking here with some of the cool kids. We got Supa, Kittie Rose, Papi, Chulo, Kittie Rose, and my fave, Passport Cutty. Y'all, okay, before I even get into this conversation for real, I need y'all to know how much of a fan I am of Passport Cutty's. I have been a fan of hers since like 2008.
We heard, my fave.
Okay.
Just rubbing it out.
I mean, really.
So, you guys are all my favorites for different reasons, okay? But today we're gonna talk about relationships because they be work.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Whew.
And
In
you-
the hot seat. Super.
Mm.
I'm
That wasn't a part of the plan.
I'm just playing. But no, in real life, I've seen so much growth from you.
Most definitely.
Even in the past month, you talk about going to talk to the lady. When we sitting here kicking in on these last couple conversations, I'm like, oh, my friend growing.
Yeah,
And I can tell it's very intentional.
Yes.
Let's talk about why. Let's talk about, what's inspiring you to do the work.
Right.
I think I finally started holding myself accountable.
Ooh.
Finally, after all these goddamn years, I had to realize that, bitch, you the problem.
And you might be. And
Yeah,
that's okay.
And that's okay.
It's okay.
You know, the way I had to change the way I talk to a man.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna respect a man, I can't talk to him like he my homegirl. I can't call him a bitch. Can't call him a hoe. I can't talk down on him. I have to respect that he's a man, especially if he's showing me that he's a man.
Yeah.
So I had to learn that, and I had to learn to stop using my hands when I talk.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I had to, learn how to listen to actually listen and not to respond. I'm always feeling like something is attacked when somebody's telling me something. I just gotta respond in a emotional tone. So when somebody tell me something,
Where have you been? Like, same.
I take everything as an attack, and
Yeah.
I'm learning how to not respond in attack mode. Just be like, well, what do you mean? Like, what are you trying to say? Well, maybe I don't see what you see. So, and I at first it was me trying to work on my relationship, and then it started me to work on myself.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me stop trying to fix myself up, man. Let me fix myself for me.
Ooh. I love
Yeah.
that. We you and I have a lot in common in that lane.
Definitely.
I'm learning how to receive people's criticism without it being like a direct attack.
Definitely.
Yes.
Because I feel like I've figured out how to word this properly now. My mama and daddy didn't let people correct me as a kid.
Okay.
My mom and dad even kind of, if we can be honest with you, kind of walked on eggshells correcting me.
Okay.
And unfortunately, that creates an adult that now cannot take criticism or
Yes.
cannot be
Correct.
corrected.
Ain't telling nobody.
And let me
shit.
tell you who got me together. She laughing because she know. We were on set and it was an episode where I feel like I'm okay with you not agreeing with me, but validate my feelings and validate how I feel. But that's not your job.
That's
And I had
right.
to learn
It's
that that's
not.
not your job.
Yes.
Kitty was like, "You ready to? Can you take some feedback right now?" And I was like,
But that's how you know the intentions were good, because
Yeah.
are
Yeah,
you
she
ready
asked.
to receive this? And not just,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you some unsolicited criticism
she
that you didn't ask
asked,
for.
and I was like, yeah. And she was like, "Girl, them people ain't got to agree with you. Get the fuck over it." She ain't say it like that, but that was the gist. That was the gist of
give
the
Big Mama.
conversation. I was like, "All right, yeah, you right. They ain't got to agree with me. I'll work on it."
No,
And
you
it-
know what? Let me correct that, baby. Let's make sure we get this right, okay? She wasn't ready to take that feedback, by the way, okay?
Right.
She lied.
She
She
was
said
upset.
she
She was
was.
like, "Kitty, this how I am." Okay, baby, but that's not gonna work. Okay, no,
Right.
but I was talking to her. I'm like, look, because coming from a friend standpoint, I don't want you to make a fool of yourself just because people are not in agreement with you.
Definitely.
But also, from a more professional standpoint, you personalizing a situation that doesn't have to be personal, like you were
Definitely.
saying about like taking things, criticism, feedback doesn't always mean it has to be a personal attack. It's just we sometimes take it as a personal attack
Definitely.
because it makes us question our character or the things that we know are flaws that we have within ourselves. Randy completely took it. I'm like, look, this is out of love. This ain't no other way. I'm saying this as a sister, a friend, minus the professional.
Right.
This is stuff we can't personalize situations like this because looking from just a bigger standpoint, a more broader standpoint, this is going to affect you in business world,
It is.
friendship, your
Definitely.
marriage.
For sure.
Let's bring
And
this
if we're
in.
being honest, because it was a repetitive conversation, I was like, I gotta listen. She's not lying to me because I've heard it
Yeah.
in numerous spaces
Right.
of, hey, or I've seen people tense up when trying to talk. And I'd be like, bitch, relax. I ain't gonna beat you up.
Yeah, like, why are you scared?
But then it's like, no, but that's the energy that I've given you, or that's the space that I've created where it didn't feel safe for you to express yourself. So once she gave me that feedback, I had to use like 3 bottles of water to swallow the pill, but it got down eventually. And I felt like I almost immediately implemented change to the point, even with how I interact with people online, how I receive comments. It'd be like, I'm like, all right, girl, so you don't care. Like I was laughing with one girl. One girl called me old on the neighborhood talk. I was like, baby, auntie is about to be 35. Auntie is
a bitch could use a nap.
She was like, I thought she was a safe space. She was like, you thought wrong, auntie. And I was like, laughing faces, girl. Auntie a little old. You teach, what's that mean? What's that mean?
The kids doing that.
What teach? Whereas in the past, that would have bothered me. Like, bitch, who you calling old? Who you talking to? I'm about to come back, like, you know. But now it's not there no more. I don't have the energy for that.
But also too, just being a woman in business, you know that when a man is assertive, he's a man. But when a woman is assertive, she's a bitch, right? So all of us being entrepreneurs, we gotta like leave that shit at the office. Go home and realize that your man is your man. You not your employee, not your whatever.
And that was another thing. I think that because I'm such a matter-of-fact type of person. Hold on, is this a fucking intervention right now?
This is a session. This is a session.
Because I'm such a matter-of-fact kind of person, I've had to really learn to like slow the fuck down. Like that's your man. That is not somebody that you need to be rushing through conversation or like, hey, like treat him.
You used to talking to everybody around like that.
Or even in conversation. Because when we do pods, we're used to the banter. You have a conversation, you gonna boss the conversation back around. Or he'd be like, bitch, you not on stage right now. I'm telling you how I feel. You don't have to have no comeback. You don't have to have no comeback.
No back talk.
Papi, let's talk. As a husband, as a father, husband, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Relationships are work, true or false?
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
How long you been married?
Since 2018.
Oh, okay.
Congratulations.
So 6 years. Okay, hey.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
What is some of the work that you're willing to do as a husband?
Willing to listen more, because I already know, like with me, when those key moments when you write, like when you write, like, yo, I told you this was about to happen if I did this, and I try to live off those highlight reels, like, yo, I'm always right, so, and I try to carry every situation like I'm always right, versus like, nah, you was probably wrong here.
Yeah, right. Is that something that you had to learn through being married?
Yeah, for sure. And I realized it's not just like boyfriend and girlfriend, because I thought being married was just about to be the same thing. It's a whole different commitment.
Two becoming one. It sounds like it's such a simple sentence, isn't it? It's like two becoming one. Oh, it's cute. But two becoming one is work. Even if you guys have this similar foundation, you can both be raised in a two-parent Christian household and whatnot. Those two parents are still going to be their own personalities, their own people. They're still going to receive Christianity the way they wanted to receive it.
Developmental differences.
Exactly. So even when I look at my husband and I, we come from similar backgrounds, but that two becoming one was intentional work because, baby, we are very different people.
Yeah. Remember even turning off holidays?
Yeah. She didn't like that?
It was a conversation,
you said turning off holidays?
Oh, you missed it, girl, yeah.
Oh.
Wow, okay. Was ready. While he was in grind season. While he was in grind season, he was like, no holidays.
Oh, I thought this one has to do with a religion.
Oh, no.
It's just, no.
You got a little bit of both, but it was mainly like, yo, we need to tighten up. You know what I'm saying? Because clearly we spending money on 24 hours. It's only 24 hours. This holiday make over $1 trillion. That means literally everybody is in that spirit, and then boom, after that.
Oh, I would have turned off sex for like 2 months.
You feel me?
This conversation's pissing me off.
Look, even working at Walmart, I used to see a pattern. Like, that's the biggest return day in history.
Oh, yeah.
Because people, they go in debt for this, they get divorced behind this, they kill themselves. There's all types of crazy stuff behind this one day.
That is true.
So it was a lot of angles that I was trying to throw them at every angle. I'm like, hold on, let me hit you with all this first before I say.
I was like, I ain't like the subject.
I don't like this.
Yeah, but it was a conversation. It was a hold on. What you mean? We get like for how long? I'm like, I just wanna let's just stop doing it. Like, cause of the time. That's when I started.
Was she sneaking buying gifts still?
Nah, it was the mamas. It was the grandmamas. It was the grandmamas. The grandmamas. I just want to see the baby. And you said, I'm like, why you got We got gifts. They unwrapped.
Yeah.
What you mean? It's still damn Christmas.
Oh, so you took the joy from it.
You
That's
feel
why
me?
you'd be happy with that.
You feel me?
Oh, that's the joy. My mama ghetto. She ain't never wrapped my gifts. My shit was just always laid down on the couch when I came downstairs at night.
Oh, we gonna feel bad.
Wait. I don't even do it no more when I'm saying, like.
Yeah, my mama ain't wrap no gifts. Okay, Kitty, let's get into this conversation for real. We talked about relationships being work. What kind of work is good work in relationships versus, oh, you're forcing this at this point?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's start off with your forcing. When you're trying to make a person change their value system, or when you're trying to force a person to change the very essence of who they are to fit an agenda that you have, or to fit something that you need, that's when it becomes a problem. Right. You can easily correct somebody. You can highlight something that they're doing that's probably negatively impactful or negatively impacting your marriage or your relationship. You can do that. But when it comes to, you need to do this because this is how I want it done, it becomes a, this is how I see things. That's when that's negative things. Yeah. But the positive side, the good things, the good tools that you can utilize, because I always say, and everyone says, communication is foundation. Communication is not just about the way you talk to somebody or the way that they talk to you. It's layers to this. It's layers when it comes to intimacy. That's still a form of connection. So that means that's communication. You're communicating some type of way, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually. There's still some form of connection that's there. So working through communication patterns, communication styles, conflict patterns, conflict styles, or things like that. You said, becoming one in a marriage. That means that we're trying to become in sync. Yeah. For the greater good, for the greater cause of this marriage, for whatever it is, for parenting, for our future, for generation, whatever the case may be. So that means that if you have a conflict style that works against the conflict style that I have, there's going to be tension. Yeah. It has to be some type of collaboration. Sometimes you see people in a me mindset. It's more about how I want to do things. Or, what I say goes. Yeah. And then you have on the opposite side a person who's too accommodating. They're more of a people pleaser. And it's like, so they minimize how they actually feel. And even with people minimizing their feelings or their needs still creates a problem as well, because now you're not speaking up. So how do I know when something's bothering you? Right, and it's usually those people who are the more passive people who eventually blow up because they feel like they're not heard, but they don't speak up. So yeah, relationships take a lot of work, but it takes a lot of honesty, accountability, as you were saying, and transparency as well. And trying to hold yourself accountable means that you really have to see the way that you have affected your marriage, your relationship, your children. And that's hard because then you can internalize that message. I'm not good enough. And then because of that, you'll sabotage, right? You'll sabotage it because now you have this belief I'm not good enough, and you'll sabotage it to help you cope with those feelings. Yeah. So yeah.
But then also when you have that moment that you want to work on yourself, you're like, okay, I'm going to work on myself. But then you realize that the person you're in a relationship with is not working on themselves. It's kind of like it really is discouraging. But also sometimes you have people who will kind of taunt you or bully you about working, like, oh, you've been going to therapy, now you know everything, and they're not like being receptive to either doing it together or doing it separately. So now you're just looking like the know-it-all or somebody who is just, trying to be all pretentious and everything. So if you have to realize when somebody else thinks, oh, you were the problem, you went and got you went and got it fixed, so now we're good.
Yeah, we should be good.
Yeah, but
you still got a problem.
So you have to actually have that realization with yourself, like, this person is not trying to work with me at all. You might have to make some adjustments. You might have to pull back.
I think that's why I get irritated when I hear people judge people so heavily on like failed relationships. My mindset is like, we're not taking a test. So what did I actually fail? Like when you're in a relationship with anybody, no matter how long it is, you need to learn that person. You have to learn yourself. You have to learn whether or not you guys are equally yoked or aligned, or how we can get back aligned. It's just, it takes a lot. And so sometimes you don't figure out what you need to work on until you 3 relationships in, 4 relationships in. And for some reason, society makes you feel, especially women, like, you hopping around, goods, you hopping around, you a loser. It's dumb.
But you could be
But
in a
also,
relationship
to
for
what
20
she
years.
said, people always tell you, you need to be by yourself. You need to be by yourself. You need to be by yourself.
Right.
Like, you get no practice
Yes.
being by yourself, because it's not until you get into a relationship with new people and new personalities that you realize what you're exercising relationship tools.
Can we talk about that though? I think that it's a difference between being a healthy person and a healthy mindset in dating and knowing what they're receiving from these dating
Yes.
situations. And someone that's like a serial monogamous.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, that didn't work out. Okay, I'm gonna be over here with her. Oh,
Okay,
that didn't work out.
yes.
Because some people just like literally it's like, oh, that there's like a revolving door.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
I mean,
Like,
I tell people all the time. I mean, I tell people 3 to 6 months is all you need to actually evaluate if you're trying to be with this person or not.
And if you don't buy,
Like, if you're not willing to meet these standards, right? Because
Yeah.
I'm willing to come in with these standards that you want, right? 3 to 6 months, that's it. I tell everybody, like, yo, if the person ain't
Don't take
performing in
long.
3 to 6 months, dip.
Yeah.
The relationship you with right now, if it ain't marriage, you can leave immediately. Why? Because you just wasting time. You wasting years of your life. You wasting all that baggage that you going, you just adding on to the situation, all the trauma that you may face that you don't have to. You
And
need to
know
cut it
what?
off, 3 to 6.
People struggle with that because, but we got to talk about why people struggle with that so much.
Yeah.
The fears in themselves, and those fears will show up later. But
Yeah.
people struggle when they see the warning signs, they see the red flags, and that's just pretty much telling you that this is going to be a problem later on down the road. It's going to get something that you value, something that you truly desire.
Right.
You can be with somebody who has something that is completely against something that you value. And you make the decision to keep on going. Just maybe if they get around me a little bit more, maybe if I love them a certain type of way, then they'll change and conform to what it is that I need.
Yeah, that's
But
crazy.
it's still rooted in a fear of rejection that you have.
Yeah.
You don't want to feel that rejection. You don't want to feel that disappointment because if even if it's you pushing that person out, you can still internalize it as
Rejection.
I'm flawed. This is a rejection to me. And that's what the biggest issue is. And when people hide over that, it's going to show up later on
100%.
in that relationship with that person.
And that's why I always tell people, stop trying to avoid pain, right?
Mhm.
Because
Exactly.
you're so
Exactly.
busy trying to, that is so intimidating, it's so scary. Like,
Mhm.
what am I gonna do now if we break up, But all you're doing is prolonging the inevitable,
Yeah. Yes.
And when I'm not the person who like every relationship needs to are we going towards marriage? Like, I'm not about that. But I always say the quality of the relationship really matters.
There you
So
go.
I don't need
Mhm.
the relationship
Mhm.
to be good enough to get married.
There we go.
But as soon as it stops being good, that's when we need to stop dealing with it. Not that as soon as, we get to a hard time or,
You can't get through it.
Yeah, not like that. But when you see a decline and you kind of know
And you
that
know.
you're trying everything and it's just not, or the real person shows up
yeah.
and you realize like, maybe we're not as compatible as I thought, or I was ignoring things when I first met him or her
Right.
because of all these things, or you realize you chose them for the wrong reasons, whether it was physical or a rebound or,
And I'm glad
something
you said
superficial.
that because people need to understand compatibility.
yes.
Compatibility is what measures quality,
Wait a
not
second.
longevity.
Compatibility isn't just me being attracted to somebody.
No, that's chemistry.
It's not just me saying, "Oh, he cute. I want to be with him."
No, that's
Oh, wow.
I'm doing it wrong.
That's attraction.
Look, chemistry and
attraction,
connection
yeah.
are two different things, and people make a lot of decisions based off the chemistry that they have with that person instead of the connection that you can actually build with that person. So compatibility is, like I said, that's what measures the quality of that relationship. So when you see people are not compatible, you have a person who has a different religion or different family backgrounds or something like that, and they're forcing it, they're trying to make it work. Later on, it's going to affect the quality of that relationship. You are not going to be satisfied. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be moving forward in your life. Something's going to happen that's going to make you realize, and there's a lot of people who are incompatible that made it to 10, 12, 13 years, but they were unhappy the whole time.
Do y'all blame yourselves for that? Like, far as like,
No.
the woman want to fix a man, right? Because we know that's heavy. That's heavy.
That's
Women
very
be
heavy.
seeing men as
Yes.
objects, as projects. Like,
That's honest.
oh, he could be here if I
Yeah.
just get him to do this.
Absolutely,
Like,
you should blame yourself for that.
I don't have many regrets in life, but let me tell you about the one that I do have. I wasted the good majority of my 20s trying to fix a nigga that didn't want to be fixed, kept, or
Yeah.
better at all.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, when I look back on it, I be so cringy. Like, girl, that man was not worth none of that time, energy, or effort you were trying to give him.
Yeah.
Because you should have been giving that time, energy, and effort to yourself. Because
Yeah.
had you been giving yourself that time, energy, and effort, you probably would have been more prepared for your husband when he goddamn got here.
Come on.
Right.
exactly.
But
Because
you needed that.
Instead of having to talk to
you
Kitty,
needed that.
instead of having to talk to Kitty 3-4 years into marriage about being able to receive criticism. Like,
you needed that.
now
It was
on
a
my
good
husband's
experience.
head.
I try to tell
Thank
young
you,
ladies
friend.
this all the time. Like, you can't change a man. A man, he has his reservations already before he met you, or the moment he met you. you can automatically see what he's willing to do for you
Right.
in the first, let's say 30 days.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, is he willing to help me out with things? Like, look, I'm over here paying bills in the first 30 days of me knowing you.
Right.
Because I'm displaying my
Oh,
character.
they're not going. Oh,
No,
I
but
know.
hold
I
on,
know.
no,
Couple
but-
ain't gonna like
Hold
that
on, let me tell you something. Let me say about
we
about
were.
the Detroit niggas.
Come on.
Respectfully, with the exception of one that I married. A lot of these Detroit niggas will trick you. They help you pay bills and shit like that for like the first 2-3
Don't
months.
get used
and
to
then
it,
be
bitch.
like,
No.
just playing.
Vegas
Slide out.
Just playing. So
Vegas
people will just keep paying attention to that goddamn shit because they
Yeah.
will reel you in on some bullshit.
That's funny.
And throw your ass back out in that
That's
motherfucking
funny.
Detroit River.
Hey, they done evolved.
That means that those people need to really work on themselves because you letting your guards down a little too fast.
Now, yeah.
You give a person trust based off of evidence. Let them show you what they're going to do, and then gradually you start opening up to trusting them more and more. Some people just come in outright and like, "Oh yeah, I trust you with my life." Well, that was your
bad.
That was
That was your dumb
Yeah.
ass fault. We felt the energy. You didn't
but
say
you know-
it, but we felt
But
it.
you know, sometimes,
You were thinking it.
but you know, sometimes, especially for some exceptional men, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm one of them, and I know a few other people. That's all
Wait,
we.
did you just call yourself an exceptional man?
Yes.
Okay.
You know, like far as like, what are you willing to give me so I can give you the world? What are you willing to give me? Are you willing to give me reins over certain things?
Okay.
You know, especially
Like
me.
what?
I only wanted certain things, right? I just wanted full control of the family, right? Like
Okay.
if you got kids,
Ooh.
I got kids.
It's giving early stage Rico, but
Let me jump in, you know what I'm saying, and pretty much
you mean
maneuver
lead.
this. Let me lead.
Lead,
You
okay.
know what I'm saying?
Let
Because
me
we
lead
know,
my household.
yeah, because the last one right before, like, nah, I ain't doing this.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool. Next one, I can see that happen. I can do this. I can
Yeah,
do this.
right.
It was a decision made, right? It's like, yo, you either go in the military or you're being with me. You chose me. I'm in the projects. What the hell I got to offer? Okay, let me become that man. Let me step up. Let me just make sure whatever.
That's real.
You know what I'm
A
saying?
lot of women don't meet men like that though.
No,
Yeah.
no, there's not a lot of men out here like that.
Women walk in trying to pitch themselves to a man.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
walk in and they wanna
Ooh.
stabilize a man so bad. Like, let me do your schedule. Like, let me help with the kids. Let me help with this. Like, and not even realizing now he depending totally on you.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
you are his mama, you his sister, you his baby mama.
But you elected to be in that role.
but that's what you wanted.
Hey,
But
men
that's
need
what
to go
you
back to the
wanted.
Bible, man. When men used to
Voluntary
court
enabling.
women, like
Come on, Supa.
back in the day, men used to court women like, yo, I work for you. I work for your daughter hand in marriage. Like,
Yeah, you
it's
do.
work. You know, when you actually look at the women as the prize.
That's what you want. You gotta come work for you.
Yeah, you gotta go work for me, you know, because I was willing to do the same thing, you know, because I believe women are still the prize. I understand doing for a woman is doing more for the man than it is for the woman anyway.
Yes. Thank
Because
you.
it's gonna help me become who I need to be regardless.
on.
If you accept it or you receive it for life or you just doing it for this temporary moment, because I'm still gonna become a better person
Definitely.
based off of what I do for you.
Amen.
Definitely.
You know.
I ain't mad
But
at
you
that.
know what? I don't have an issue with women coming in and doing as much as they can for a man if he deserves it,
If
right?
he deserves
it's
it.
like if this guy is super
on.
busy, he's very, he's motivated, he's working on so many things, and you
Yep.
can come in and you can like kind of organize that and sort it out for him, cool. But if you're filling out job applications for him,
Yes,
that is not
So I have done
helping.
that.
Me too. Right? You know, like,
So
I gotta
this
fill
is
it.
what a resume
You gotta do the resume. You gotta fill out the application. You gotta tell them where to go. You're like, no, that is not helping. That's
Yeah.
enabling.
That's
enabling.
Like, yeah,
It is.
And
I
they
always
don't
tell
ever let
myself that.
themselves get to that point to where they can actually see if a man is deserving. And
yeah.
that's because whatever ideas they come into it, whatever idea, fantasy they have created of that man, they won't even allow him to show who he actually
Yeah.
is
Agreed.
because they're trying to make him change into what it is that they believe he
But
should be.
It's
partly
this
too,
vision.
with the whole deserving is like the man that you got is the man that you deserve too. Because a lot of the time
Agreed.
we don't do that.
That's a clip. That's a clip.
We
Come on,
don't-
Peter.
ain't gonna like that.
You ain't worked on yourself. You don't know what you
Right.
want to do in life. You just want somebody to come in and you want them to lead because you don't want to, work
want
on
the
those
shit.
skills
Yeah,
that it takes to lead yourself.
Yeah.
What type of life do you want? Don't just let somebody come in and tell you what type of life you're supposed to be living.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's why we come in and we settle, because that's what you said, right?
Definitely.
We settle down with anything. We haven't done the work ourselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's real. I think that something that we talk about a lot is the dating pool having piss in it. Everyone says
A
that
lot of people say that.
It got
Everybody
shit
says
in it,
that.
You
You
said
said
what?
piss and
It
shit.
got shit in it. too.
Okay. Can we talk about that? Like, why do people feel like the dating pool is so
Because
pissy?
you
But
swimming
this
in
is
a
the thing.
community pool. That's your fault.
Well,
Come on now.
Community pools do suck. Like, you ever been to a private pool versus the community pool?
It's cheesy.
Yeah.
Everybody that and their mom, it takes nothing to be there. You're gonna have to have no type of nothing to be there.
No membership?
No membership.
Yeah.
You don't gotta live there. You don't gotta know nobody. You can just pull up and show up and just be there.
But people think
Like, who are you?
that people say there's pee in the dating pool, but they act like they didn't pee in it. They didn't pee in it.
And they the ones that
You
was
know,
messy.
like
Come
they
on.
always blame it on everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like
you're here.
And this is the thing, just because, you know, a lot of women, they big themselves up based on I'm successful, my body looks good, I look pretty, you know, all of this stuff.
I got a degree.
Yeah, like all of these, you know,
Accolades, right.
external factors, but the internal part is why you're insufferable. Like people can't take you.
That is
People
such a
get
heavy-
stuck.
But that's facts, though. That's facts.
Calling a motherfucker insufferable.
That's crazy.
No, because
I can't even tolerate you bitch in a room.
No,
like,
you
that's
see
how
it.
Why are you alive? Like,
Let's be
Who gave you
honest
life?
though.
who gave you life?
No, but hold on. Let's be honest though, because people get so stuck in their comfort zones, and that's the biggest problem.
100%.
You have not elevated to outside of that community pool. You have not elevated to a different pool. There are certain pools that people don't have access to.
Yeah.
When you
Heated
get to a
pools.
certain
That's
status,
hard.
when you get to
That's
a
hard.
certain, when you get to that certain status,
Better talk.
you start thinking a certain type of way. You
Yes.
change your mindset. That means now you want to be around different people
Right.
who are elevated. That's just like a person with a scarcity mindset or something like that. You gonna keep on being around poor people, or you gonna start being around people who make investments, people who have businesses,
motivate you.
because
Take risks.
that's when you're going to
Facts.
elevate. Not when you stay in this place of comfort to what's familiar. So once you get to that place where you elevate, because I've been there. And when I got out of that community dating pool, I was like, I will never see y'all again. Okay? Once I built my business and I built up from that, that's the time when I was ready to actually receive the partner that I have now. Because before that, I would have kept on being with those hoodlums. Once I got to that place, I was like, baby, y'all will never see me again. I'm never
I
going
That's why I
back.
tell-
I got that community pool and ran for my life, Jesus.
Hey, look, man, I tell people all the time, man, I don't even think a lot of people haven't even experienced love before. And people date off
People
convenience.
haven't.
Like, think about it. You go to work with this person. You see this person in the same bar you go to.
Proximity.
Yeah, like proximity right there. And
Yup.
to the point where y'all don't really have nothing in common.
Yup.
COVID showed that a lot. Look at all the people that was beating on each other, leaving each other.
man,
Because you had to
they
actually
were
sit
stuck and
down.
had to actually
You got to realize,
interact.
I don't even like this
I didn't
person.
think about that.
This was just a warm body next to me. I don't even like you for real. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like, that was a test to a lot of people's relationships.
Let me process this for a minute. I lost a friend.
Supa in her closet like, I hate this nigga. Oh my God. I hope somebody cough on this nigga.
No, COVID was a crazy ass time.
Yeah.
Listen, I think I'm not gonna hold you. That's partially why I be like, all right, kids, y'all go over there with your grandparents. Y'all was in the house with me for 3 goddamn years,
Yeah.
right?
That was a test.
But
That was a
you know
test.
what? When you're in the dating pool, like people always say things like, "Oh, these guys out here, these guys out here." I'm like, I don't even think about those guys. Like they don't. They're not even a factor to me. Like the guys
Absolutely.
who are subpar from whatever my standard is. It's like, why are you entertaining? Oh, this guy, and then they go ... about why he's not, you know, good enough to deal with them. And I'm like,
Randy
so
plays on
why
that
are we having a
line.
conversation about him?
Okay.
I would
Yeah,
not even
okay.
I would not even be talking about
would
it.
you entertain?
You are definitely what you. I say that all the time.
Yep.
People talk often about, you know, oh, you are what you attract. No, because I attract some booger heads. Some
Yeah,
We attract
yeah.
everything.
I attract bitches that ain't got good manners, musty
Right.
energy. I am what I entertain, and I am what I allow into my life.
Agreed.
I can anybody can be attracted to light. Bugs are attracted to light
Yeah.
and get zapped. That means is a bug a light? No.
Right,
A
no.
bug he dead. Nah.
Yeah.
He did, man.
You're not gonna tell me I am that one because I am not.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe I am. Maybe I am who
But
I
what-
attract.
but men
I-
need to be
I-
around
I
this
attracted a
type
good
of-
friend in Kittie, and she's a good person. So
Let me say this, because
all of y'all.
I'm a firm believer in ego mates and soulmates. And I'm
Ooh,
because
hold
let me
on.
tell you,
Ego
you're-
mate.
Hold on. Let me sit in that for a
yeah,
second. I ain't
no.
never heard of that.
Ego
Yeah.
mate
No, that's
So,
a good one.
versus
your
soulmate.
soul believes in harmony. So, and it believes in extending yourself and also receiving people. It's an exchange. Your ego doesn't understand it. It understands self. That's it. So the ego is always going to go for protective matters. If I am struggling with something internally, if I'm struggling with trauma or a negative experience, a previous relationship, a breakup or something like that, I'm looking for somebody to fill a void. to stroke me and to make me feel good, with not thinking about actually giving you something that's substantial to help us grow. Just in this moment, I need my ego to be just concealed to whatever the case may be. And so that's an ego mate. Yeah. Your ego mate is always, and it's usually the person that you should never be with. It's usually just that person who comes and relates to you on some type of pain, some type of hurt.
Trauma bonded.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. You are bonded to that person based off of a similar negative experience. They are not for you. And until you get that ego under control, and you have to heal that trauma until you get that under control, your soul's not going to be able to step forward to receive that harmonious relationship that you actually need.
Need and deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get an amen? Amen. No, this is a very good conversation, okay? Because relationships be work, but I think it's okay to do the work with the person that's willing to do the work with you.
That's all.
like
That's the biggest part.
That's it.
It could be all be so simple.
Yeah, you can't run a race by yourself for real. You gotta come on now. It'd be a team effort type thing. So hey y'all, good conversation. Thank you guys for watching. Let's Rant About It. We'll be back next week with a whole new episode. Think about it. Good day.